Ready? Let's do it. 1, 2, 1.
I'm here to collect. My day has been interrupted. pass me by mouth. If I was just a woman, would you have this regret? Did all your power, am I better than it? Right or wrong, you helped me right and wrong. The face of my doubt was rent to my sleep, pulling apart right under me. Said, is it a problem? We can both be of kind. Fooled by the tenderness of your cruel mind. Right or wrong, you helped me right and wrong. Now you hate it when I cry. I feel it hard for me to know that. Take back no coming round. But my mind, my mind. Caught outside, in between two separate lives. Felt new type of lonely. Take back no coming round. But my mind, my mind. Right or wrong, you helped me right and wrong. And now you hate it when I
You're listening to Locals Only here on KXCI. My name's Matt Milner, and I am so pleased to be joined tonight by Panic Baby, live in Studio 2A. Thanks for coming down tonight, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us.
So why don't we start off by going around the room and doing introductions. Let us know who you are and what you're playing tonight.
My name's Devin Russell. I play the drums.
I'm Nick Smith. I play bass.
I'm Raquel. I sing, play keys, and guitar.
My name's Jared, and I play guitar.
Excellent. Well, thank you for making the trek down I-10 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big month, an exciting month. You are just about a week out from putting out your debut album. So
Yes.
let's go back to the beginning. We'll talk about the album and the process of getting there, but let's go back to the beginning first. So how long has Panic Baby existed as a project?
Since, I would say, summer 2017, so about 2 years.
And what was the genesis of the project?
Well, the three of us played in a previous band, and then Devin is Nick's roommate, and so it just worked out really well.
So we roped him in.
Yep.
And did you have a pretty clear conception of what you wanted the band to be when you started, or has that been an evolution?
Oh, we had no idea. It's definitely been an evolution, and especially once we started playing with Devin, everything was a lot clearer. And I mean, as we're still, things are becoming more clear. So who knows where we'll be in a few years.
So what were, for those initial stages as you're getting together, working through songs, did you have a pre-existing batch of songs that you were either bringing over from the last project or that had been rattling around in your heads, or did you start from scratch with new material?
It was pretty from scratch. The band started pretty organically when Devin just started coming over and hanging out and jamming with us, and like our first batch of songs, almost all the songs on this on the album that we released are like at least 2 years old, like in the making, and they came to be from us just jamming together as friends, and let one person have a riff, and then we would build the song from scratch. It's the complete opposite way that we write songs now, but that's how all those songs were written. So they have a very unique feel to them. We're never going to write like that again, I don't think, but yeah, it was very organic.
And in that process of kind of democratically writing songs together and finding a sound, were there things that were surprising to you about how the music developed, or about what course the band took?
Most definitely. These guys surprise me every day. Every time we write a song, something new comes out of it that we weren't expecting when we went into it.
Yeah, usually when we're jamming, we'll come up with some sort of seed of an idea, and a lot of the times I think I can kind of predict where it's going to go, but I'm usually wrong.
So you mentioned that was kind of a lightning in a bottle moment, that you might not be able to write songs like that again. I'm curious, how did that process of then writing songs in that manner, how did that inform, as you were becoming a live entity, how did you make the transition from jamming in a house, in a studio, to then trying to turn into a live band? Was that an easy transition?
Yeah, we the three of us have been playing live a lot, and then I think when Devin joined, it was pretty much live right away. So I think we were playing a little bit of our old catalog, but then once it was pretty much in those 2 or 3 months that we first started, we just switched it out for all the new songs and never looked back. So it was kind of just right away.
And one thing that I'm also curious about is how soon after the project started did you have a sense that you wanted to start recording and that you wanted to put out an album? Was that an immediate decision, or did it take some time to figure out that that's the direction you want to head in?
That was definitely immediate too. Like right when Devin joined, we started putting out some singles. But yeah, I think looking back then, we had no idea like how we were supposed to sound and how to make that sound come to be. So yeah, like the 2 years that we been together, like writing the song, like the 2 years that this album's been in the making, and like we've grown like so much as a band.
Mm-hmm.
But like speaking to the live aspect, I feel like playing live is what we were always kind of doing, whether or not we were ready for it. So I feel like all of the songs that we write are like meant to be played live, and like that kind of helps with the structure of the songs and really the foundation of the music is hearing it live.
Describe, so what is your practice space situation, and particularly when those songs are being written? Set the scene for us. Are we in a garage? Are we in a guest room? Are we in a recording studio? What's the scene that these songs emerged from?
We have a room in our house, so it's just the band room. So we did most of the recordings there for the album. We pretty much wrote the songs. And I think when we were writing these songs, we were just jamming in the living room. And we'd go in and out of the pool and come back and jam. So that was very casual and fun. And then we moved into a bedroom and kind of set up like a little studio area. And so that's just like the Panic Baby room.
It's smaller than this room.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So
It's very intimate.
good. I'm glad that you feel like you have room to spread out in here.
Oh yeah, this is great.
And
Luxury.
it's a crisp fall night as well, so
Oh, yes.
it's cool in here.
It's amazing out
Yeah.
there now.
One thing I noticed during that set, something I always enjoy with a band, is when a band has a song that has the same name as the band. And I'm curious in this case, did the name of the band come first or did the name of the song come first?
We stole it from the song.
So was that one of the first songs that you wrote then?
One of them. Well, with this project, yeah, it was early on in the process, and
Yeah.
we were kind of kept the old band's name, and then Raquel wrote that song, and we're like, actually, we make a good band name, so
Yeah.
kind of worked out.
I think it helped us cement a vision for what this band was going to be because we had no idea before. We were just playing.
Yeah, and I also feel like that song that Nick wrote, like the progression of that song, that was like one of the first times that we wrote a song like that, where one person, kind of wrote the structure of it and then brought it. And the way that he wrote the chords and like the way that the song felt, I feel like every song after that is kind of based around that song's idea. So I feel like that's like when we really became Panic Baby.
It was the official birth of Panic Baby.
Yeah.
Post Panic Baby.
So if people want to be able to find the album online or keep track of upcoming shows, what are the best ways to follow you online?
Instagram is Panic Baby Band, and I think it's the same for Twitter and Facebook and all that. And then we have our website, Panic Baby Band. And then our music's everywhere on streaming sites and SoundCloud, all that.
Excellent. All right. We're going to get into our next set here with Panic Baby, and then we'll chat some more. Don't forget, if you happen to have a screen available to you, you can head over to the KXCI YouTube channel or Facebook page and watch streaming video of this performance from Panic Baby live in Studio 2A.
Well, how you feeling now? you're coming, baby, out on the road. Don't know what you're gonna do, don't know what to say. Don't you know that I got all that you needed? Somewhere I found it for you.
You're listening to Panic Baby live in Studio 2A here on Locals Only. My name's Matt, and I'm so pleased to be with you here. Thanks for coming down tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the album. Don't came out on October 11th after a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start laying down tracks for this album?
Oh, man. That went through, that was like a year and a half in the making. We started it literally like a year and a half ago. We started working with a friend of ours, a producer, and it made it like 8 months into it at least, and had all the songs done. We're just like tracking the vocals, trying to get that done, and then kind of had a just a difference in opinion on what the creative control, and that kind of all fell apart. So we didn't get anything from those 9 months, lost like all the sessions that we had. So at that point we had to start from scratch. That was January of this year. At that point we're like, all right, where do we go from here? What do we want to do? And we decided to like do it all DIY and do it in our little home studio. So we just started teaching ourselves how to do everything, and yeah, it took us a handful of months to do that. But yeah, and so it's been like over a year and a half in the making, and
Wow.
it's been on a journey.
So having gone through the process of working for a long time on a product that you put to the side and then coming back to the drawing board, did you find that when it was time to start the process anew and focus on what the version that people can hear now, were you trying to consciously create kind of a break between the approach that you took to recording the album compared to the tracks that you laid down before? Were there lessons that you learned from the way that the songs were coming together in the first group of sessions that you were applying? How did you navigate that challenge?
Well, I remember when everything first happened, we were just like, well, we have nothing now. And, but that kind of motivated us more than like made us want to quit. And we learned that like a lot of the things that we were unhappy with were like things that we needed to do ourselves just to, so we would know. Like this, doing it all of ourselves made us realize how we want to sound. And now when we write, it's much more purposeful. And like these songs was kind of just figuring out who we are. And even in the recording process, what was nice about doing it all ourselves is we pretty much threw everything at the wall. And we had the time to do things again and again. And we pretty much said anything goes, and in the end we pretty much took most of it all out and kept it pretty minimal. And I think learning that too, like less is more, we always say that, and it was just nice to sound like how I think we sound, and just having that responsibility really empowered us. And yeah,
It also made us realize how hard it is to communicate what's in your head to somebody else.
Oh, sure.
It's not in the band.
Yeah.
So having people in the band kind of inform how the songs should sound is a lot more effective. Plus, in that time, we played these songs 100 times live, so it got better at them. So when we tracked them, it was just like
I
quick we needed to.
I don't think the way we played the songs necessarily changed very much, but as soon as we started recording ourselves, it was night and day. Two totally different songs from what we had and what we were then building. So I think we were all just much more comfortable with having that degree of control.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things like to take away from all that for us was I don't think we really knew how we were supposed to sound. Like we knew how we were supposed to sound live, but we didn't really have a grasp on how we were supposed to sound recorded. And I think the failing was ours when it came to trying to work with some other people. Like how are we to communicate to somebody how we're supposed to sound when we don't even know? So we had to go through that process of figuring that out just on our own. And yeah, it was a very rewarding experience.
So given that these are songs that you've been playing for a couple of years that have been in your repertoire since the beginning, what's the feeling that you had when it finally entered the world in the last couple of weeks? Is it a sense of relief, excitement, closure? Are you just like ready to move on to new songs? How
what's
does it
next?
feel? Yeah.
pretty much all of that.
I was elated. I partied my brains out that night. Nothing could bring me down that day.
I think we had all been so close to this project for so many months.
Yeah.
It was really, really strange to step back from it and oh my gosh, these are our tracks on Spotify. We made all of this. It was weird just giving it to the world and taking a step back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, felt really good. And just this group of people, I feel like it's been such an emotional journey for all of us.
Sure.
we're sealed forever, and I don't know how, but we still want to keep doing it.
There you go. If people want to be able to catch you live, are there any shows on the horizon, or how should they keep track of that?
Yes, we have a big show in Phoenix at Yucca Tap Room on the 16th, and we're
Excellent.
playing in Tucson on the 8th at the Boxyard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So once again, all the social media info for everyone.
Yes, Panic Baby Band.
Perfect. So before we wrap up with a couple more songs, you alluded to thinking about what's next, and is that something you've started thinking about, or have you been writing songs for whatever comes next?
Oh yeah. Well, even in the time of recording for so long, we have pretty much 7 or 8 new songs already finished and demoed, and we're just trying to write and get more music out as quickly as possible, and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like the songs that you're writing now are informed by the process that you went through in recording and finding your sound?
Oh yeah.
Well, definitely learning how to record ourselves. We're all better at recording demos.
Yeah.
So we can come to each other with pretty much a fully fleshed out song, usually just without vocals. Raquel will kind of fill that in. Or,
So much faster to write.
yeah. She would make us play the songs 100 times when we didn't have demos. So now it's just here you go.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like I would say if you're paying attention to our music, look for a level of maturity in the song.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
We got a little dancier too.
So once again, I want to thank you so much for making the trek down, sharing your music with us here tonight.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, we love your station.
Yeah, well, we are really grateful to have you. We're glad that you're coming back down in a couple of weeks. So once again, that's going to be at the Box Yard. And what was the date on that?
11/8.
11/8. All right. If you like what you heard here tonight, don't forget that you can also head over to the KXCI website where there'll be a streaming link to listen to this, or head to the KXCI YouTube channel. You can watch this performance as well. And of course, you can head over to all of Panic Baby's social media stuff, Panic Baby Band on Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. So with that, we're going to hear a couple more songs from Panic Baby before we wrap things up here for the night.
Ready?
Return the favor, you're trying to telephone.
You have been listening to Panic Baby here on Locals Only, and the new album Don't just came out October 11th. They'll be playing in Tucson on November 8th at the Box Yard, and for our friends listening up in Phoenix, you can catch them at Yucca Tap Room on
16th.
The 16th. We've got a couple of minutes left before we wrap things up here. And the last thing that I was curious about is, given that you've spent so much time, obviously, honing your sound as a band, one thing that I'm always interested in is how you, over the course of working on these songs, how you've developed a sense for each other's, what each person brings to the project, so to speak. So what are the unique variables that you have learned about each other in terms of, somebody's ear for harmony or what they're bringing to each of the songs. So in a 10 or 20 second snippet, let me know one thing about each person in the band that you think they bring in particular.
Man, Raquel brings like the unbelievable vocals that are just Raquel and what we're going to be known for. And I mean, and the lyrical writing she does is amazing. Nick writes unbelievable songs from beginning to end, every detail of it. One of the best songwriters that I know. Devin is an unbelievable drummer, and he has ear for harmony that I have never seen before, and writes unbelievable songs too. And I fit somewhere in the middle of all that.
Jared's an incredibly precise guitar player and recorded all our songs, so he knows our songs better than anyone. So yeah.
And he pays really nice compliments too, I think.
He's a pretty good guy. He's all right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it feels good to have nice things said about you. So, in any event, I really do appreciate you coming down and making the time to share your music with our Tucson audience. And shout out to our friends at Radio Phoenix as well, who rebroadcast Locals Only. So for any of our Phoenix listeners who are able to hear this, you can catch Panic Baby in your own backyard as well. But I want to thank you again for coming down. Panic Baby Band on all the social media. Head to your streaming services to find the album Don't. And with that, we are wrapping up this week's edition of Locals Only. We'll be back next week. I'll be tagging out. Sophie will be in the hot seat, and our live guest will be Toros, brand new Tucson band. It'll be maybe even their first performance, or one of their first performances. So in any event, thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.